Before we start, I just want to say that I have a lot of respect for both Pat the NES Punk and Gamester81. I mean, both of those guys are staples of the retro gaming community. And I have a lot of respect for both of them. And I have nothing really but opinions that I have of what they've been saying lately. Also, I want to say that, of course, that I don't blame Gamester81 for whatever the Retro VGS Coleco Chameleon guys have been doing at all. That said, I do have several differences with the video that he just made out public, and I'm gonna have the links for both Pat the NES and Gamester81 videos down in the description. Oh, and also what you're watching now, it's the gameplay of my the game that I'm gonna be reviewing next. So enjoy. So guys, it seems that the Coleco Chameleon controversy expands now with the community and with staples of the community, Gamester81 and Pat the NES Punk. It seems that we have a little bit of drama between the two of them. Pat the NES Punk released a video where, you know, he pretty much was talking about the new developments of the Coleco Chameleon fiasco, where they posted the picture that they after that they deleted the picture of the crystal clear Jaguar case with the PCB inside. That at the end of the day was the actual it was actually the capture card. So then he proceeded to say, well, you know, the people that have been promoting, he came in and said, you know, he started talking about several sites and people that were involved with this project. I'm going to be putting some snippets of the videos from both Pat the NES Punk and Gamester81. Both of their videos are going to be linked below again. But I need to do this in order to illustrate my points and criticize wherever I want to criticize.
But also big websites like Engadget, CNET, and Gizmodo, which acted as just PR mouthpieces, just spitting back out whatever was told to them by the Coleco Chameleon crew.
As you can see, he's other than from the sides themselves, he's pretty vague of who he's talking about. But today, Gamester81 released a video where he thinks, I mean, well, he says that's the way it goes, but I'm thinking he's saying that because he knows that Pat was calling him out.
And the reason I'm doing this video is really because I've been called out, indirectly called out, and that was by Pat.
As you may or may not know, he is a co-owner of the homebrew publisher that's called Collector Vision. Again, I'm gonna put the links below. They develop homebrews, they do repros, they do several things, and I think they do a very good job. So I have a lot of respect for Gamester81 to do this. That said, he feels that he was called out by Pat the NES Punk. And so he starts his video, and he seems to be flustered, to say the least, with Pat and what his comments were. And actually, he even threw some punches back to Pat.
If I recall, several years ago, Pat was a part of a Kickstarter as well that was kind of controversial, and no one ever asked him to apologize. What
Gamester81 is talking about is a controversial Kickstarter that Pat the NES Punk and even people like the Angry Video Game Nerd were involved in. And this was the Cheetahman 2 Kickstarter project where, well, I mean, you can Google that, but it was in a big sense, it was just they were asking for way too much money and the pledges were way too high for what at the end of the day was just a fucking ROM dump into a repro card. But, you know, that's for another time. But, you know, Gamester81, he was throwing punches there as well, even if this really doesn't have anything to do with it. But I guess he's trying to prove a point that sometimes guilty for association is really, truly not something that anyone should consider. I mean, anyone is going to be guilty of something that they never did because they are associated with whatever other people do, and I don't think that's fair at all. So I agree with Gamester81. You know, he talks about that in his video.
So according to Pat, we are all guilty by association.
And I agree. I don't think you should be guilty by association by any means. I mean, if some other guy does whatever he wants to do, I mean, unless you are in charge of the guy, you are his boss, and you're making him do what he's doing. At the end of the day, we are all individuals, and if they do something wrong, you shouldn't be blamed for them just because you're associated with them in whatever way. But one of my biggest issues with Gamester81 video is where he pretty much starts to say, hey, I mean, go to the source, ask the original guy what the problem is.
Has anyone ever done that? Did he ever dawn to actually reach out to Mike directly and ask Mike? If he was so concerned about the retro VGS and the Coleco Chameleon and how the shit was supposed to be, wouldn't you think that he would actually come to the source and try to find out facts, opposed to like basing his argument based on pictures?
And one of the problems with this is that people have been trying to reach Mike and the retro VGS guys. They're trying to get an explanation from them, but then they go ahead and they ignore any of the criticisms. They ignore all the actual questions about this, and they go ahead like nothing happened, and they say, hey, see, we have a fucking a great demand, so that's why we're gonna want to go and make this a better product and whatever. When at the end of the day, we know that they have nothing. They truly have no projects. They don't. I mean, the project they have is a sham. It's a fraud. It's a scam. So why say that, Gamester? I mean, why go ahead and try to give the guy the benefit of the doubt? And I know that you at the beginning of the video, you even say that you think they're doing something that is undefendable.
I'm not here to defend the Chameleon either. I think, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. It's beyond defending at this point, okay?
But now you come back and you say, well, but, you know, try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Ask him directly. I mean, even if this has been happening for some time now, people have been asking him the questions, the hard questions, he avoids the questions, he doesn't answer directly, and they go ahead and like eliminate the damning evidence from their sites, they eliminate the pictures from their Facebook. I mean, that's all super shady, and I don't believe that you defending that. I mean, you're not defending that, but I don't believe that you given the benefit of the doubt for them. I don't think that's the way to go at all. And I agree with you that I believe that at some point they have very good intentions with this project. And as you said, these guys have been a staple of our community for a long time, and they have very good credentials. I get all that. So that's why it's okay at first when they had the good intentions, go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt, and you know, and give them a couple of chances. I get that completely. But from the first retro VGS console that they came out with, we most of us saw it as something that was not viable, and not even in a niche product like retro gamers, air collectors like myself, like the people here in this community. But then again, even with that, they didn't agree. They were very defensive about people criticizing what they were doing. And it's okay to defend your product, but then again, why not go ahead and prove us wrong? Show us your project, show us your prototype, show us what you're working on, show us why we want to buy what you're trying to sell us. What happens? They go ahead and go to Indiegogo, they fail, they now want to go to Kickstarter, they want to make a prototype, and they scam us all with the shit that they came out with. Yeah, and your first world problem comment, that's another part that I don't agree with very much.
ISIS is blowing people up everywhere in the world. Kids are starving in the streets. There's you know, he's talking this video like it's fucking World War III.
I mean, yes, these are first world problems, but collecting video games is a fucking first world problem as well. I mean, a lot of things that we do that we are passionate about, of course, that are not gonna be a first world, other than first world problems. Yeah, there are people dying of hunger. There's war. There's a lot of problems in the world. I get it. But if the things that you are passionate about, you just don't want us to talk about that? What's that comment about? What are you talking about? Yes, of course, there's all the problems, but why mention that? Come on, that's nothing to do with what we're discussing here. This is something that we're passionate about. Why not give us the chance to do it? And finally, I mean, you seem to trying to give us the impression that people have not reached to you about this, but I think a lot of people have reached to you about this. But then at the end, you said that you don't want to continue with this conversation, shutting down. I mean, no controversy from here on. I get it. I mean, who wants fucking drama in their life? I get that. But why then bitch about no one reaching to you, but at the end of the video, you're just going to cut that channel of communication, right? I mean, why say one thing at the beginning and contradict yourself at the end? I mean, I don't know. That to me doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, I get what you're saying, Gamester81, and I think your overall message, I think everyone's got it. You are not guilty for what these guys are doing. We get that. It's of course that's what it is. I mean, no one should blame you for any of their wrongdoings, because if they do, they're fucking pieces of shit that don't know what they're talking about. We get that. That said, you should not go out of your way to defend them or give them the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Because they have proven 1, 2, 3 times already that they are not very good at what they're doing, at least for these projects. Yes, they have some other projects that work great, but this one, these guys should go out and apologize, honestly, which they haven't, which I think is a very dickish move. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I wholeheartedly respect Gamester81 to a fault, I guess. But at the end of the day, with his last video, as I already talked about, there's some things that I don't agree with. I don't agree with some of the things that Pat says, but in this particular case, I mean, I honestly think that informing the viewers of some of the issues that we might have, especially with products that they're trying to ask us, the gaming community, for money, for them to make their project a reality, and then you know, they come up with this fucking loathsome acts of fraud, which is what they're doing, and expect us to not be fucking frustrated about that. I don't think that's something that I can get behind. So that said, guys, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully, you know, you can give me some feedback about this down in the comments below. If you don't agree, I wholeheartedly just gonna read every single comment. It's okay if you don't like this and you're gonna defend Gamester81 from what I just said. That's okay, bring it on. I just want to have a conversation about this. So, thanks for listening in, guys, and hasta la próxima.